Well, good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning, and you know what that means. I've got a few things that I want to talk about, but first, let's take a look at this shirt that I'm wearing. And I love this shirt. For those of you who don't recognize Stewie from Family Guy, you're missing out on something. And typical of Stewie's attitude, on this shirt he says, "I've stopped listening. Why haven't you stopped talking?" I love it. It's 7:15 in the morning. I've been up since 4:45. Had my morning aggravation, watched the news. It's not any better this morning. Unfortunately, what's dominating the news are all of these riots and protests on our college campuses, just further convincing me that even though I thought the radicals of my generation in the 60s and 70s had lost their minds, they had nothing on these kids today. And I honestly think it's because they lost their minds. I think that the incredibly poor nutrition that the current crop of children have been getting since they popped out of the womb has led to tremendous deficiencies in the formation of their brains. It's a tragedy what's being done to the human race in general. And as I watch these things on the news every morning, even though I can't take it for long, I still want to know what's going on. I get comments. I got a comment yesterday from one of my viewers who said to me, I was on Carnivore and I was doing very well, but I let my primary care provider talk me out of it. What the hell is that? It happens. It happens because we're so radical compared to mainstream thinking that the amount of logic and education that it takes in this area, the amount of studies you have to read, the amount of just common sense you have to have to accept the fact without question that these doctors, these idiots in the white coats who we give so much respect to and who have such egos as if they know something that nobody else knows, until we see them for the snake oil salesmen and flim-flam artists that they are, they're going to continue to create enough doubt in our minds to knock us off of something that is saving our lives. Saving our lives. It's absurd, and it just pisses me off to have to read those things. I try to give these people an answer with some words of encouragement, but I deeply understand. It took me a long time to develop the complete and utter lack of respect for the medical community to treat anything other than broken things. Broken bones, car accidents, things like that. But to keep fooling around with our metabolic health, trying to regulate the thousands of different things that go on every millisecond to every millisecond in our body. Monitor it and regulate it with this drug and that drug and the other drug. We are killing ourselves. And with the corruption of the dietary advice and the food companies and the pharmaceutical companies, it's done. We're done unless somehow we can grow the number of people that take us seriously. I'm not doing it, my friends. I am not doing it. Averaging maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views on a video is nothing. It's nothing. I'm not making a dent. It's very, very discouraging. I don't care how big a number my subscriber base, 28,000, so-and-so. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views on a video. That's it. Oh, it's raining. Excuse me while I light my cigar. Thank you. Magic lighter. As usual, I made some notes for my little Monday morning talk. First thing on the top, I already covered. Don't let your doctor talk you out of doing a carnivore diet. And of course, we have our ever-present comments from morons. I had one comment about, I'm not going to go too big into this today, but I had one comment about last Monday's rant, and it said, I find this creepy and I'm unsubscribing. That's a new one on me. I don't know what's creepy about this. This is just some old guy talking about common sense and reality, two subjects which have completely disappeared from our discourse these days. Another thing I got down here is, why does it seem like we have to be divided on everything? I mean, we're divided on everything. Is it somebody else dividing us for their own purposes? Political, maybe? Is it back to the old philosophy of united we stand, divided we fall? Divide and conquer? Are we dividing ourselves, or are those that influence us, or influence the media, or influence the message, are they the ones that are dividing us? Maybe a little of both. Either way, we're divided. And we're getting more divided every day. And we're divided on everything. Do we need, is it a human need? Do we need to be divided on everything? Do we always have to pick a side and go to war with those on the other side? Why is that? In the words of a famous philosopher, oh, there's the rain, who many of you may not be old enough to remember, but most of you probably are, in the name of this famous philosopher, Rodney King, who said, why can't we all just get along? That's a question for the ages. But we are divided. And not only are we divided, but ironically, magically, we are always divided right down the friggin' middle. It's 50-50 on everything. How the hell in a country of 350 million people can an election be swayed by a couple of hundred votes this way or that way? How can every subject we're divided on be so divisive as to have half of the people on this side and half the people on that side? Do we need to be divided? Is it an elaborate game that somebody's playing? Maybe this is a matrix we live in, a simulation. And we're all plugged in, and somebody is just using random logic to program whatever side you happen to be on. And it's 50-50 like a coin flip. What am I divided on? What are you divided on? I'm, I guess, divided politically, like most of us. Oh, there are some who say they're in the middle, but not really. Being in the middle, being moderate, being able to go both ways means, in most cases, you have no opinions of your own. And you're easily swayed by the most influential snake oil salesman peddling his message and his promises of what he's going to give you if you vote for him. But it's equally divided, equally divided. What kind of car do you drive? What kind of pickup truck? It's divided equally among the main players. And they hate each other. The Chevy guys hate the Ford guys, and they hate the Ram guys. They'll kill each other. They'll fight to the death over whose truck is better. They're all the friggin' same. How about sports teams? Look at Chicago. These people will kill each other over the Red Sox or the White Sox, for God's sakes. Come on. How do they gain our loyalty so much that we're willing to protest and go to war over it? Religions. Another thing. The cause of just about every war that ever happened between human beings is people arguing whose God can beat up who else's God. Give me a friggin' break. Why are we so divided? And the latest thing that I find myself, the latest division and battle I find myself in, is the plant eaters versus the animal eaters. And at the extreme end of those two groups, we have the vegans over here and the carnivores over here. The battleground, my friend, is social media. The arena where the great battle of ideas takes place. Every day on YouTube, a carnivore is making a video telling you why, if you're a vegan, you're killing yourself. We all know the arguments. It's up to you to depend which argument to believe, but for every carnivore telling you that a vegan is going to die, there are an equal and opposite number of vegans who are putting out a video telling you why the carnivore diet is going to kill you, clog your arteries, give you heart attacks, deprive you of all of those essential, healthy plant nutrients like polyphenols and phytonutrients and fiber. God, everybody knows human beings can't live without fiber. Well, I've already disproven that because I haven't had not 1 gram of fiber in the last almost 2 years. So how come I'm still alive and prospering? But I'm not here to talk about the arguments. I'm here to talk about the arena and the battle itself. So now we've got 2 competing sides throwing YouTube videos and TikToks and Twitter tweets and all of these things back and forth. And the average person who's never heard any of this stuff, their brains are exploding. How are they supposed to know? They haven't done enough research. They hear this argument. They hear that vegan doctor. Then they hear this carnivore or keto doctor. They hear about studies that absolutely prove that meat kills you. And then they hear about studies that absolutely proved that meat makes everything better. They hear stories about cholesterol. High cholesterol absolutely kills you. And then the other stories that low cholesterol absolutely kills you. It's all bullshit. How do you believe anything? And then, to make matters worse, to make it worse and more complicated, not only do you have the carnivore videos and the vegan videos, now we've got the vegans reacting to the carnivore videos, critique of the vegans videos, while they're reacting and criticizing the carnivore videos, and we have the reaction videos. Does any of this shit mean anything, or are YouTubers just looking for excuses to make friggin' videos? And I can tell you that happens because I'm one of them. Everybody wants to see a video from me. I have to come up with something to talk about. Why not just react to the other guy's reaction of this guy? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's very simple. And it's very obvious if you open your mind and take a side already. Pardon me while I relight my cigar. I know a lot of you disapprove of this, but I enjoy it and I'm going to do it. If you don't like it, don't watch me. So pick a side, pick a side. Do all the research you can. Convince yourself. One of 2 things is true. If your doctor is telling you that carnivore is going to kill you, you need to lower your cholesterol as close to 0 as you can. Eating meat and saturated fat is going to give you a heart attack, and you need to take this statin. You either believe that, or you believe that all of that is bullshit, that none of that is true, that that is a message proffered by and coming from religion, ridiculous science, corruption, fraud, and greed of companies that run on the addiction model, want to sell you foods that you cannot stop eating, and the medical community that profits from all of the conditions and the diseases it causes. You have to make your mind up. You have to decide. What do you believe? What makes the most sense to you? You have to become unshakable in your resolve. That's not easy. That's not easy. Not with the messaging and the bombardment of that messaging that we get every day. I've succeeded because I have that resolve. If that's not obvious to you now, it never will. Or you've never watched one of my videos before, pick a side. Pick a side. We're not 50-50 yet, unfortunately. We are hugely outnumbered. 99 point something percent to point something percent. But the irony of our battle, unlike the sports teams, the political battles, the religious battles, is we're right. And the proof that we're right is there, obvious and evident, but it's just now being discovered. Just because a truth is newly discovered doesn't mean it hasn't been true all along. Like any discovery. Like any discovery. Find your resolve if you really want to do this. It's 20 minutes to 8. I am about to go to Sam's Club, do the sprint to the markdown meat, see what I could find. If I find it, I'll buy it, bring it home, vacuum seal it in one of my 2 WeVac chamber vacuum sealers. And then we can all take the rest of the day off and eat meat.